Petra crossed the room toward us, and I watched her expression change the moment she registered Olivier standing beside me. Not confusion. Recognition. She knew him. She walked straight up to him, gave him a hug, and asked what he was doing there. They clearly had some existing connection I hadn't known about. I did what anyone would do. I smiled and said something along the lines of, "This is my boyfriend." The word landed on her like a door closing. Her face dropped. Then it hardened. She said almost nothing to me for the rest of the evening, moved through the party like I wasn't there, and left without saying goodbye. The next morning I sent her a message asking if I'd done something to upset her. I kept it calm, gave her room to explain. What I got back was not calm. She accused me of stealing her boyfriend. That was the exact phrase. Her boyfriend. I read it twice because I thought I'd misunderstood. Then the follow-up messages started coming in. Mutual friends from our high school years, people I hadn't spoken to in 2 or 3 years, sending variations of the same message. That I'd gone behind Petra's back. That I'd taken someone who wasn't mine to take. None of these people, as far as I could tell, had ever met Olivier in person. I went to Olivier directly and told him exactly what was happening. He was baffled. He knew Petra. They worked in the same building. They'd been part of the same group for after-work drinks a handful of times. They'd grabbed coffee near the office occasionally when schedules aligned. He described it as a normal, friendly acquaintance. Nothing more. He had no idea she'd formed a different interpretation of any of it. Then my mother called. Petra's mother had phoned her. The story had crossed into our parents' generation now, framed as me deliberately going after Petra's relationship. My mother was measured about it, but I could hear the discomfort in her voice. She didn't know what to make of it. I sat with all of this for several days. The messages kept arriving. Each one was some version of the same accusation, delivered by someone who had only ever heard one side of a story that, as far as I could tell, had only one side to begin with. Olivier wasn't a cheater. He wasn't hiding anything. There was no relationship to steal. But that didn't seem to matter to anyone who was already convinced. What bothered me most wasn't the anger. It was the certainty. People who had never met the man at the center of this were absolutely sure they understood what had happened. They'd been handed a version of events and had accepted it without a single question. And somewhere in the middle of all of it was Petra, who I still couldn't quite reconcile with the person I'd known years ago. She'd never been like this. Whatever was driving it, it had moved fast, and it had moved far.